What would you do if you lost an eye in battle? Most men go home. Léo Major? He stayed. He said, "I only need one eye to use a sniper rifle anyway." This is the story of the real-life Rambo, who single-handedly liberated an entire Nazi-occupied city. By accident. A French-Canadian sniper with a pirate patch, a bag of grenades, and zero quit in his soul. He captured 93 Germans like it was Tuesday. He stared down death so many times, it started calling him by his first name. And in the final days of World War II, he pulled off one of the most insane one-man operations in military history, while his entire army was preparing to bomb the city into oblivion. 0 Hour Echoes presents The Immortal Canadian. Buckle up. This one's going to feel like a Hollywood blockbuster, except every explosion, every capture, every defiant no to his commanders actually happened. Picture this. June 6, 1944. Juno Beach. The Régiment de la Chaudière storms ashore with the first wave of Canadian troops. Among them is a 23-year-old hothead from Montreal named Léo Major. He'd enlisted in 1940, partly to spite his old man, partly because he was born for chaos. The landing is hell, machine guns chewing up the sand, bodies piling up like cordwood. But Léo is already in his element. Days later, during brutal fighting inland near Bénouville, he's on a lone reconnaissance patrol when he walks straight into an 8-man squad of Waffen-SS. The elite, the fanatics, the guys who made other Germans nervous. Léo doesn't blink. He raises his Sten gun and drops 7 of them in a blistering burst. The 8th, dying, yanks the pin on a phosphorus grenade and hurls it right at Major's feet. Boom! White-hot chemical fire explodes in his face. His left eye is instantly cooked. Burns sear his cheek, his arm, his side. The pain is apocalyptic, like someone poured molten lava directly into his skull. Most soldiers would be screaming for a medic, begging for evacuation. Not Léo. He staggers back to Canadian lines, half blind, still shooting. At the field hospital, the doctors take one look and order him home. "You're done, son." Léo stares at them with his one good eye and growls, "I only need one eye to aim my rifle." Refusing medical evacuation was a court-martial offense. He didn't care. While they argued, he slipped away, found a dead soldier, and stole the guy's eye patch. Slapped it on like it was the latest fashion. From that moment on, the Germans would whisper about Le Fantôme Borgne, the one-eyed ghost. Fast forward to October 1944. The Netherlands. The Battle of the Scheldt Estuary, some of the ugliest fighting of the entire war. Knee-deep mud, freezing water, constant rain. The Germans had turned the dikes into fortresses. Supply lines to Antwerp were cut. The Allies were bleeding. Léo's unit, still the Régiment de la Chaudière, is ordered to push forward. One night he's sent on a simple reconnaissance mission. Locate a missing patrol of green recruits who never came back. Simple. Right. Léo slips into the darkness like smoke. He spots 2 German soldiers walking a dike, stealth mode engaged. He takes the first one prisoner without a sound, uses the terrified POW as bait, marches him right toward the second guy. The second German panics, raises his weapon. Léo drops him cold. Now he's got 2 prisoners and momentum. He forces them to take him to their commanding officer. The officer laughs until Léo puts a gun to his head and explains, very calmly, that the entire company is now surrounded by invisible Canadians. Psychology, baby. Pure mind games. The officer folds. 93 Germans, almost a full company, surrender on the spot. 3 die resisting. Léo marches the rest back to Canadian lines like a shepherd herding sheep. 93 prisoners. 1 man. 0 backup. His commanders are speechless. They immediately recommend him for the Distinguished Conduct Medal, the second highest gallantry award in the Commonwealth. The ceremony is set. Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery himself is supposed to pin it on. Léo looks at the invitation and says, quote, "Montgomery is incompetent. He's not worthy to give me a medal." He turned it down flat. Dark humor break. Imagine rejecting an Oscar because you think the host is bad at his job. That's Léo. The man had standards higher than the artillery shells raining around him. And get this, he wasn't even done yet. A few months later, a troop carrier he was riding in hits a landmine. Everyone else dies. Léo's back is broken in 3 places. 4 ribs snapped, both ankles shattered. Doctors again say, "Go home." Léo's reply, "See you on the front line." He healed. He returned. The one-eyed ghost was still hunting. April 13th, 1945. Northern Netherlands. The city of Zwolle, still firmly in German hands, packed with SS troops and Gestapo. Allied command has had enough. The plan is simple and brutal. Massive artillery barrage at dawn. Level the place. No survivors, no mercy. But two Canadian scouts step forward. Private Léo Major and his best friend, Corporal Wilfred Willie Arsenault. They volunteer for one last reconnaissance. Their mission? Slip in, map the defenses, maybe buy the city a chance. They leave at 9:30 p.m. Stop at a Dutch farmhouse. A terrified family whispers everything they know about German positions. The two friends press on through the black night. Then, ambush. Near a railway crossing, a German machine gun nest opens up. Willie is cut down instantly, dead before he hits the ground. Leo's world goes red. The man who had already survived an eye-melting grenade, a landmine, and 93 captures feels something snap inside. Duty is gone. Revenge is all that's left. He charges the machine gun position through the hail of bullets, empties his Steen into the crew, and avenges his friend in a storm of lead. Then he keeps moving, alone, into the city that was supposed to be wiped off the map. For the next 8 hours, Léo Major becomes a one-man psychological warfare machine. He captures his first German patrol without firing a single shot in the main rampage phase, disarms them in the shadows, uses their own weapons and uniforms for intel, then lets them go with a message. Tell your friends the Canadians are already inside. Panic is the weapon now. He starts running, street to street, alley to alley, throwing grenades into empty buildings, boom, then sprinting to the next block and doing it again. To the Germans, it sounds like an entire battalion is tearing through Zwolle. Footsteps everywhere, explosions, shouts in French and English, shadows moving in the dark. He captures another patrol, then another. Each time he extracts locations, then sends the terrified prisoners running with the same story. We're surrounded. The climax comes at the local SS headquarters, the Gestapo nerve center. Léo slips inside, sets the place ablaze with captured incendiaries, and slips back out before the flames even reach the roof. The fire lights up the night sky like a beacon of doom. German commanders lose their minds. Reports flood in. Canadians everywhere. Heavy fighting. Headquarters burning. They think they're facing a full brigade. At dawn, the German commander himself emerges under a white flag. He surrenders the city to one Canadian with an eye patch. The entire garrison packs up and retreats in chaos, abandoning weapons, vehicles, everything. No artillery barrage needed. Zwolle is saved. Morning light breaks. The citizens of Zwolle cautiously step outside. The streets are quiet. No shells falling. No Germans. And there, sitting calmly in the main square, is one lone Canadian soldier. Eye patch, grin, cigarette dangling. Léo looks at the stunned crowd and says the words they'll never forget. You're free. One man. After the war, Léo went home. But the fight wasn't over. In 1950, he volunteered for Korea with the Royal 22nd Regiment. There, he captured a strategic hill single-handedly and earned that second Distinguished Conduct Medal, the one he actually kept. He lived quietly in Montreal until 2008, raising a family, never bragging. But in Zwolle, they still hold ceremonies in his honor. A statue stands there today. The Dutch call him their liberator. Subscribe right now. Drop a like if you think Léo Major is the biggest badass in history. Tell us in the comments, who's your pick for Ultimate Legend? Until next time, keep listening to the echoes.